and all of the map pressure.
That little change for Origin in the last pick when they were thinking about the Twisted Fate, said, wait a minute, Fnatic has barely any form of engage right here. We can very easily run a poke composition and we can just slowly but surely force them off towers, take them down and get a gold lead from it. Very, very smart pick and ban phase. Still, the fact we get Gangplank as a blind pick with the Riven ban, that enables the whole thing because he just works so well in these poke compositions. 1-4, 5-man together, he can do all the things.
All the things and all the things well with a 60 CS advantage. We did see some posturing around the previous Dragon. 30 seconds before it spawns, Origin have got all of the deep vision to play with and a teleport. Cannon Barrage will be up soon as well.
Now, Origin are in that phase of the game where HTK yesterday was getting a little greedy. They got a lot of outer turrets, but it's kind of too early to start thinking about Baron. Yes, 20 minutes Baron spawns, but it's incredibly hard to take that down efficiently because Baron does so much damage. Teams can come at you and just kill you when you're doing it. So what they need to do is just slow down, inch forward the vision and slowly set up for the next Dragon, and then completely choke Fnatic out of their own jungle, steal away their buffs, their raptors, their wolves, and then eventually move towards the Baron.
Beauty of poke compositions. They really want the Baron buff because it makes them insanely overpowered. If you can barely clear the minions, what can you do against the amount of poke? But they're very weak at taking the Baron because they rarely have anyone who can really tank it, and you don't want to get caught in a Baron pit.
And we see the third Dragon being taken by Origin, and just, yeah, to touch on that point, that's why when poke meta was rampant, we saw poke versus poke. It was very often these weird standoffs around the Baron pit. Both really wanted it, but neither could secure it. So we'll need to see if Origin have learned from that. They do the right thing though. They steal away red buff, leave some deep vision. Likely see Niels rotate to the mid lane or even top later and then get some more deep vision on the left side of the map. Slowly setting up that 4-1 Baron control with SOA split pushing.
This is a thing we have seen this game as well, and something Origin has shown all split long. Their ability to maximize farm on 3 carries, 1-3-1 setups. Now, we need to see what happens in the mid lane, because Reckless is nearby with the rest of Fnatic. They're going in!
They've caught Peke! Peke used his flash already, and he's down! Fnatic have got a kill! Soaz is teleporting in, and here comes Gangplank! The Pirate instantly has to run away. Too risky, puts down a powder kick, chains them together. That's going to hurt and slow Yellowstar. Wild Growth is still available for Huni. So, Fnatic, they get themselves a kill, and they're trying to set up a siege on this middle outer turret, but Reignover's been hit. The powder kick chains are great from Soaz. Flash body slam, I think that was short. Knocks Reckless back before he jumps out. You can't keep him down with the rocket jump. The wave is cleared and Origin hold on to their tower.
Yeah, really good jump there by Reckless. He waits for the cast to explode, then he jumps out afterwards, channeling that jump perfectly. I just want to replay and just keep your eyes on where Yellowstar is on the map once we get the mini-map back. They rain over flash cocoons, I believe, to force expected flash up in the top left of your screen. Flash, Spellrise, knock up. That's what dreams are made of for Fnatic. That's what they need to come back, and somehow they always find a way.
Peke had cleanse ready though. You could get that cocoon in your face, cleanse it, and save your flash. Anyway, though, it's a beautiful setup from Fnatic because they had the vision control on the top side. Origin put all the focus on Dragon, the bottom half of the map, so they couldn't spot the flank. Every other time they've been grouping, they have wards on both sides. They can see where Fnatic is coming from. They can push another tower now in the top side because, again, they have full vision. They can see Yellowstar.
Yellowstar is just going to be a threatening pose. We have to mention that Reckless finished his Infinity Edge a few minutes ago, is continuing to farm up with that Avarice Blade, already earned 600 bonus gold. This is when he's going to start to shine once he can get that Shiv and Last Whisper completed.
And we'll need to see how well Origin can learn from their mistakes and read the game. If you're running a siege composition, you're naturally weak to flanks, so you need to ward your sides, make sure Yellowstar can't get behind you. He gets tagged there, Yellowstar moving to the front. Now it's easy. If you can see him coming, you can poke him, you can chunk him, force him backwards.
And we can see the first upgrade of Cannon Barrage. That was Death's Daughter by Soaz, a little later than Oduwamne yesterday, but it allows OG to get the tower.
So I very quickly talked about this before with the Gangplank. What some of the Gangplank players likes to do now, get that Death's Daughter very early because it's more damage than Fire at Will in the early stages until you get like the rank 3 ulti and the extra amount of hits really matter. This is better for early damage. That's why they go for it as the first upgrade.
Origin doing such good work with vision. You see all the deep wards. Fnatic got a little grouped up. They're focusing on the tower. Origin are the ones that are split and retreating. Reckless is trying to run him down with Whimsy. The explosive cask is going to mix them around. Barrel into barrel for a double barrel kill. Huni gets knocked down. Febiven and Reckless retreating. Reckless is low. Peke is going to start charging the piercing arrow. He's going to snipe Reckless, but not enough for the kill. Former teammates chasing them down. The piercing arrow from Peke penetrates Reckless's heart, and Fnatic lose 4.
Once again here, Origin are so strong in the mid game. This time around, Fnatic did not get the engage they were looking for. Mithy managed to flash away, but that's just the support. Rest of Origin comes in, they're starting the Baron. February, it's time to be a hero.
Deficio, history repeats itself. At 22 minutes, 4 weeks ago, Fnatic overstayed a team fight, lost it and lost Baron, and found themselves 7,000 gold down. In the finals of the summer split, Origin hold a 7k gold lead, and this is why.
Yeah, let's watch that again. Fnatic, they force open mid lane very hard because they know they've lost complete control of the Baron vision. But this beautiful explosive cast into combo phosphorus bomb on Huni one-shots him. Now Yellow starts trying to peel, but there's no damage follow-up. And then Soa's flanks. He forces Vectors to jump out and flash defensively. Still snipes the Rainover down, lose my words here, and then Soa somehow stays alive. And that's really weird. He got knocked out there or flashed out, and he managed to stay alive, and then that's enough damage to take down the Baron eventually.
Well, let's look at these two compositions and how they want to play out a team fight. We talked about it again, Fnatic, if they can flank and get to the backline of Origin, the Corki, the Varus, and almost one-shot them, then they won't have the same amount of damage if you compare the two backlines at this point in the game. So we saw that fight. It was on to Mithy. Nielsen started to then manage to jump away, and there was no follow-up. Yellowstar wasn't there, and then Origin will take the fight. So now he's just going to knock up Amazing. Not going to do a whole lot. This mid lane tower is going down.
It is down indeed. Here comes Peke for more poke. Fnatic have lost their 7th tower. They have had a 21-game winning streak, and this might be the one that ends that. An inhibitor is going down, and Origin in the finals, a team that so many people had counted out, have got a massive lead in the first game of this best of 5.
Fnatic, they haven't lost a single game this split, so how will they bounce back from a potential loss? Will it shake them, or will just say, okay, next time it will be better? You know, how are they gonna adapt? They really need to work on adapting to this gangplank pick, because these barrels and these ultimates from Soas are doing so much work, combined with just a peel from Mithy on that round.
Just look how he's chaining the barrels when the team moves in to hit the tower. So suddenly Fnatic, they have to step back, because if you move into the barrel and get the crit in your face, well, you can't fight anyway. So by them moving away from it, it opens up for the carries to hit the tower, and suddenly there's nothing Fnatic can do.
For Fnatic, they tried it to defend, but look at those chains. Bebevin and Huni, amazing rolls of barrels. Soaz blows his barrels up, and they're gonna knock Fnatic out of the air with a barrel roll of destiny. Another inhibitor being focused down. Origin at 25 minutes are using the poke and the Baron empowered minions to shut Fnatic down. Inhibitor number 2 will fall shortly, and for Origin, the safe calls to back away and spend that gold. A lot of money in their back pockets.
And this all goes down to the early game, the early levels. Even Fnatic was so sure that Origin was going to take the 2v2 in bot lane, 1v1 top lane. Got surprised. We're one move behind. And for the first time this split, teams didn't make a follow-up mistake against Fnatic when they get ahead. Origin played out the early to mid game beautifully. Couple small mistakes, but Peke, it took him 3 repetitive ganks to finally get him. And even then, they couldn't capitalize on when he was dead. He managed to stay alive long enough for his team to start grouping, to start sieging, taking game 1.
Just a very greedy start from Rooney, sitting in that lane, expecting the 1v1, setting himself and the rest of his team behind in that swap. And of course, Origin, full credit to them, using that advantage. Soaz has been so far ahead of Rooney all game long, and then we can talk about, oh, Lolo doesn't need the same amount of farm. No, but you need to shut down the gangplank from getting that farm. Otherwise, he will get to his late game point, vintage Trinity Force, and then he really starts killing your team.
You mean letting your opponent's top lane get twice the farm of your own top laner, averaging 10 per minute, and then seeing how Soaz is using his barrel mechanics so effectively? I'm going to take a look at Cannon Barrage. Has been upgraded now to fire at will, and that is in fact 3 minutes earlier than we saw yesterday from Odoamne as well.
The main thing we have seen for Soaz with the barrels has been zoning more than necessarily dealing damage. We haven't seen him like chain the barrels and hit the backline of Fnatic more than maybe once. It's more just the way he's setting them up when they're sieging. The threat of his ulti and then the barrels coming in is enough to push Fnatic off, and that's a free tower.
All right, Fnatic know what's coming. They know there's going to be siege on the bot lane, so they're posturing for a potential flank. They want to get Origin before they're set up perfectly for that siege. So side vision, flank vision will be very important. That's what Mithy's doing right now, warding over the wall. They spot Yellowstar and Rainover. That buys them time again. Now Rainover and Yellowstar will have to get creative. Look for Flash Pulverize, Flash Cocoon. Fnatic will want to force something before they inevitably get sieged off this tower.
So we have the banner of command from Mithy. One of the supports who introduced it here in Europe, obviously to empower the push even more. Meanwhile, Soaz Just killing a few minions very, very quickly and applying a bit of pressure on the top side. Fnatic, time is running out.
For Origin, time is just starting. If they beat Fnatic, they will take the #1 seed in the World Championships for Europe. And this may be the start of that push. Soaz is on the Nexus turret. Febevin and Huni have been pulled away to try and deal with one pirate. He's got a tower. Soaz is looking for another tower. He's got some minions to deal with first. The cannon barrage is going down, and the rest of Origin, they've been engaged on. Yellowstar's looking for the fight. They've got Mithy, but he's not a damage dealer. That's an aggressive rocket jump forward. Soaz has the help of the minions. Origin are onto the Nexus. Oh, see, Soaz forced away. Fnatic are going to try dig deep and try to protect their base.
But he's pulling all of Fnatic back to the Nexus so Nils can take down the last outer turret. Origin, they are still in full control.
Origin is beautifully dancing around the lack of engage of Fnatic, backdooring their former teammates with Soaz right here. Third inhibitor falls, Nexus is exposed. How long will it take?
Not that long, Crepo. Fnatic are trying to wave clear this out, and maybe a few minutes of life remain. Origin have peeled back and have played a near flawless game to push Fnatic into their Nexus.
Blue team's inhibitor is respawning soon.
I love to watch Soaz on a pick where he can be annoying. As annoying as possible, where he can split push, where he can move behind enemy lines and kill everyone 1 versus 1. Gangplank is perfect for him. Both him and Xpeke are two of the players in Europe who's the best at basically playing solo.
Yep.
Always setting up these plays for themselves. So the fact that Gangplank is now in the mix means both teams, we know Huni has been playing it a lot as well, will suddenly have to either first pick it or ban it.
And that playstyle also reflects in the builds of the remaining teammates. Niels, for example, went for the Bloodthirster second after Triforce because he knows he doesn't need more damage. All he needs to do is clean up, add some pressure, poke and siege, and just stay alive somehow if inevitably he does get flashed on. That was Fnatic's Hail Mary right there. Q flash from Yellowstar, but it wasn't enough. All they had to do was sacrifice Mithy, wait for the split push. They traded support for 2 Nexus towers. Pretty sure Quickshot would take that one.
And talking about the damage part here, what is Reynor doing? Ruined Glaive, Hourglass on Elise. I mean, come on, you don't have to be an AP carry. Go for Cinderhole, get a Locket early on, or at least get some tanky stats for yourself. Locket probably not the most effective in this case, but there's at least some magic damage. But tank Elise is a lot better because you already have enough early game power just with your very, very strong base damage. You're now trying to be basically an assassin, yet there's no way for you to ever get in there and deal the damage. So I really disagree with his build in this game here.
2 Barons secured for Origin. Super minions in the bottom lane, and they're 1.5 minutes away from a potential aspect if they want that as well. For Origin, they're going to set themselves up for the final push very, very shortly.
Yeah, and these tempered slow pushes, making sure every minion wave enters the base, making it nigh impossible for the Fnatic to flank. You can look at Yellowstar. He's hiding around the walls. He wants to catch somebody off guard, get sped up, going for the combo here, but misses because Origin could just sidestep, re-engage.
But look at the barrel! Fnatic have lost one, they've lost their captain, even through the unbreakable will. Origin are going to push forward. The Chain of Corruption doesn't connect, but it didn't need to because Niels has got himself another kill. Origin are pushing into the Nexus Toast for Fnatic in a 2v5. It's simply not going to happen. For the first time in 3 months, 12 weeks, 6 patches, one team added 1 loss to Fnatic's roster, and it's Origin in the finals.
Can we just praise Origin for that pick and ban phase? Such a smart setup with Varus as the last pick. They had all the combinations to build a great poke comp. Braum was there as well to stop some of the wave clear coming in, to protect his carries. And we just saw them here. There were no answers for Fnatic. Either you flank with your Alistar, if that is spotted, done.
Yeah, Fnatic has been fantastic throughout this year, just playing these low engaged but very high zone control type of composition. Then they steadily get a lead with better rotations, with better map play. But now they found themselves